Welcome to the Classic Rollout Daily Update. Made some changes, you got to be major market. I'm your host, Jeremy, and we've got a few items that we'd like to get to in the update today. That's distracting. Let me turn that off. Okay. All right. I'll never do that again. I think I said that last time, but yet I tried it again. So in the news today, Dream Theater. Way back in, I think it was 2008. No, 2010, their drummer, excellent drummer, Mike Portnoy, left the band. And he was replaced by another excellent drummer, Mike Mangini. Well, guess what? Portnoy is coming back. They've announced Mike Portnoy coming back to the band. He says, quote, "I'm overwhelmed with joy to be returning home and reuniting with my brothers," end quote. Well, open quote. There is so much shared history between us all, so many memories, so much music. To think we're coming up on 40 years since this journey began. The idea of creating new music together is so exciting, and I absolutely cannot wait to hit the road and get to play live for a whole new generation of fans that weren't ever able to see this lineup before. There's no place like home, end quote. Now, I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy here, but whenever this happens, I'm a journalist. Okay. I have to ask the question. Something made John want to leave in 2010. What will be different now? I mean, will he come back and do the album and do the tour and all the reasons that made him want to leave before reserve? I'm just throwing that out there. Love Dream Theater, love Mike Portnoy, love Mike Mangini, or love both the Mikes, right? So anyways, it'll be interesting to see. Mangini, he says, what does he say? He says, quote, "I understand Dream Theater's decision to get Mike Portnoy back at this time. As we said from day one, my place was not to fill all the roles that Mike held in the band. I was to play drums in order to help the band carry on. My main role of keeping our live show working tightly on a nightly basis was an intense and rewarding experience. Thankfully, I got to experience playing music with these iconic musicians, as well as some fun times laced with humor. I also really enjoyed spending lots of time with the crew." I'm a fan of both Mikes. Okay, Portnoy involved in a lot of cool projects. Winery Dogs. If you have not checked out Winery Dogs, you got to check out Winery Dogs. And I don't know if he'll continue to do all of these Sons of Apollo. I mean, he was involved in a lot of stuff. And great drummer, Mike Mangini, a great drummer, just two class individuals. So we wish Dream Theater well. We wish Mike Mangini well also. I'm sure he won't have any problems finding another permanent gig. What else do we got going on here? Oh, the Rolling Stones. Keith Richards has admitted that a concert featuring holograms of the Rolling Stones is bound to happen. Now, this has been done before. Some artists embrace it, some not so much. The technology is getting better and better. There was that whole Dio tour with a hologram. You guys ever see clips of that, or did any of you ever see it? It's kind of spooky. So here's the live band playing, and then there's a hologram of Ronnie in the middle of the stage. It looks almost like he's there. And then you have the whole, I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready to jump on board with this. You know, you have someone that's passed away and you just show a hologram of them. And the technology is only going to get better. So, probably in a decade, it would be hard to tell. You think about a live concert setting, you're sitting, several rows back. Probably it won't be long until you wouldn't really be able to tell the difference whether it was a hologram or a real person up on the stage, as in a concert setting. So, on the one hand, it's a way to keep the music going and the live experience kind of going, but it just seems kind of weird. What do you guys, is that weird? I mean, if you went and saw Elvis, right, and it was an Elvis hologram, that would be weird. It just made me think of this way back this is probably 1977. So it wasn't hologram technology, but I remember growing up in Lawton, Oklahoma, 77, 78, they had a big Beatles tour thing. And it wasn't a hologram, but what it was, and it was actually kind of hokey, but what it was is they had like this, I can't even explain it. They had screens on the stage that were kind of set up like in 4 or 5 or 6 different sections, right? I mean, now you see large screen TVs, they do this type of thing all the time. This was way back in the 70s, so it's kind of hokey. So basically, the way they did it is they just projected each of the 4 Beatles on their own little vertical projection screen, and you'd hear, the music playing, and it was kind of weird. But anyways, this whole hologram thing, ABBA did a whole tour. I mentioned Dio. So this is going to be coming up. Some bands are already have said we're not going to. Led Zeppelin was talking about doing it, and they've decided now we're not. They couldn't agree on how to do it. They just thought they weren't all on board with it. Queen, you think of going to see Queen with a hologram of Freddie Mercury. I don't know. The technology's there. Anyways, the Stones, the problem is Keith Richards will outlive any type of technology. But for the rest of the members of the band, yeah, you could watch them all as hologram. Here's an idea. You go see the Stones in 2098, and Keith is up there playing, but everyone else is holograms. How would that be? That might work. I mean, maybe that would be cool. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Speaking of the Stones, their new album, Hackney Diamonds, and this is a thing, it's a marketing thing. Kiss has done this for years. Everyone does it for years. And there are some gullible schleps that will buy I'm not going to name names, that will buy every possible album. So case in point, the new Stones album, Hackney Diamonds, comes out in multiple vinyl variants. The count I see, I think this is according to Louder Sound, I think, the louder.com or whoever does this. They have counted at least 43 different variants available. So if you're a nerd in your basement collecting all the Stones albums, I won't name any names, there's 43 variants available. Think of how much that'll cost. And you know what? There's schlubs that are going to do it. Brilliant on the part of the Stones. And everyone does it. They're like, hey, let's just Kiss will put out you can buy various versions of anything they put out, and they just collect. Okay, I'll do it. I'll buy it. Okay, it's exactly the same thing. It's a different color. So there you go. You can do that with the Rolling Stones. Now, speaking of Kiss, man, it's all we're in synchronicity today. Legendary Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Kiss are donating a trip with the band on board their final jet, along with an experience at one of their final shows of End of the Road. So what they're doing is they've teamed up with this Children of the Rainforest and its mission to protect natural lands and indigenous cultures. You can donate to that cause, and if you donate, you're signed up for a sweepstakes and a chance to win seats on the band's plane and go to a show. That'd be kind of cool. So you can do that. So I don't know how you sign up. I'm sure you can find it somewhere. But Kiss, always the ones to be out there in the marketplace, give you an opportunity to spend your money. They're helping you facilitate that exchange, free market exchange, but for a good cause. So you can do that, and you might win seats on their plane. You can still get a Kiss coffin, by the way. Dimebag Darrell was buried in a Kiss coffin. So the Kiss coffin is still available. One last thing I want to mention. Dokken has a new album coming out the 27th. I got a soft spot for the Dokken. And, we recently talked about Don saying in an interview, hey, if you don't like the way I sound, don't come to my show. Okay. I'm 70 years old and I can't hit all the notes. He's very honest and upfront about it. The guy's had cancer. He's getting older. He's not the singer he was, and he's completely upfront and honest. And he says, hey, if you don't like it, don't come. But that hasn't stopped them from making albums. So they have a brand new album called Heaven Comes Down. It comes out on the 27th. Yours truly will be doing a review of the album. I've heard a couple of the tracks. Latest track I saw, you can check it out right now on Spotify or anywhere else where you stream music. It's called Over the Mountain. And no, it's not that Over the Mountain. It's their own version of Over the Mountain. It's a pretty cool tune. And here's the thing about the current Dokken. Don't know the guy's name. Drawing a blank right now. The current guitar player in Dokken sounds more like George Lynch than George Lynch does. I mean, the guy is good. He's got it nailed. Really good. The music is awesome. Obviously, Don has adjusted his vocals. His vocal sound is a little restrained, not real powerful, but the music sounds great. And the last studio album, can't remember what it's called. It came out like 2012, something 2000. I played the crap out of it. It didn't get any type of airplay or anything, obviously, but it was a really good album and a lot of catchy tunes. And I really dug it. So I'm kind of expecting the same thing for the new Dokken album, Heaven Comes Down. And again, that comes out in just 2 days. We'll do a review of it when it does come out. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the Classic Guitar Rock Daily Update. You can be a subscriber on X for just $1 a month. Click on that little subscribe button if you're already following us on X. If you aren't following us on X, formerly Twitter, what are you waiting for? At Classic Guitar R1. At Classic Guitar R1. And then once you're following us, you can be a subscriber for $1 a month. Lastly, email me, classicguitarrock@mail.com, classicguitarrock@mail.com. We will see you tomorrow. Take care.